All right, good morning again. And here is Membran. Today's presentation would be about famous explorers, a social studies lesson. All right, I am an explorer too. Okay, so I just thought about why do we have to teach explorers or navigations or simply like hundreds of years ago who have explored different places in the world. But I think exploration activities could also give students the opportunity to experience, think, investigate, probe, inquire, collect information, question, test, make inferences about relationships, and problem solve. Actually, some just wanted to understand their own land. Others would want to discover new lands, and still others sought ways to make money from the resources that could be found in other places. All right, some explorers sought adventure or a new life on their own, while others traveled in the name of a king or a country. All right, so those are some of the assumptions of other researchers why we got to teach famous explorers. And because this is one part of the lessons that we are supposed to have for the next few days, so I'm starting it with Leif Erikson. This is Leif Erikson. I got all this from um, Google. Pictures are also from Google. Thank you, Google. All right, Leif Erikson is the lucky one, and he has been a Viking explorer. He sailed to what have been North America. And you know what? He called North America as Vinland. For what reason? There is no information, more information about that. Second is Marco Polo. I think you are very familiar with Marco Polo. Here he is. He always have a book, he called it navigation book. All right, probably before it was called Atlas, but now we already have GPS. All right, he described great cities in Asia, and he described riches like porcelain, coal, gunpowder, silk, and paper money. Actually, the one that he is holding right now is the Book of Marvels, and that is his book about his travels. Not only that, there are destinations and maps that he is keeping, but those are all about his travels. Marco Polo. Next is Christopher Columbus. I think you are also familiar with Columbus. We were told that he was the one who found the United States first. Okay, that is Christopher Columbus. We even celebrate a day for him. All right, so he left Spain looking for a water route to India with 3 ships. They are Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. Later, he landed on an island in the Bahamas and called it San Salvador. He thought he had reached India, so he called the natives Indians. So he mistakenly thought that he was already in India, but he is still in the United States. All right, so that is Christopher Columbus. He has 3 ships, Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. And he landed in Bahamas. Another explorer is Vasco da Gama. That is Vasco da Gama. All right, and I also got his picture from Google. He was the first European to sail around Africa to India and back to Portugal. Because, you know, Portugal and Spain are actually sending, I think at the time they were sending a lot of expedition to different countries, because around that time also there were several countries who were trying to like I think America was also under another country before. My country, the Philippines, was also under another country before. We were just told, but I did not actually experience being under somebody else. All right, so of course the term, the name itself speaks about what country he came from. So he's from Portugal. He went around Africa, and then he went to India and then back to Portugal. That probably circumnavigates the world already. Circumnavigate meaning you got to where you first started to travel. So from Portugal to Africa to India and back to Portugal, that means you have probably gone around the world. All right, so that is Vasco da Gama. And now we have Ferdinand Magellan. Ferdinand Magellan is a well-known name to most Filipinos. All right. This is Ferdinand Magellan. And he left Spain. So he was sent by Spain also in 1519, looking for a passage to India, because in India there's a lot of pepper, a lot of condiments, we call it now, but around the time it was precious. They need spices, but sometimes they are also in exchange of some porcelain, other kitchenware probably that were made from one country, and then it's kind of like, because there was no money yet around the time, so they were just bartering whatever goodies a certain country has. So he left Spain in 1519, looking for a passage to India through America. And you know, when you leave America, if you go to Southeast Asia, where India is, you got to cross the Pacific Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean is the biggest ocean. He even named Pacific Ocean as Pacific. Pacifico means peaceful and calm. That's how he got the name Pacifico. But he died in the Philippines because he was trying to conquer the Filipinos and try to Christianize them. But there was an island that has a very strong warrior. His name is Lapu-Lapu. So he was not able to get in there. He was not able to Christianize the whole island, but he was able to get to Cebu and Limasawa. And so that was the start of Christianity in the Philippines. So he died in the Philippines. There was even a song by Yuyoy Villamy. He was saying, in March 1521, the Philippines was discovered by Magellan. Because when you sail from the Pacific Ocean, you get into the eastern part of the Philippines, which is where he landed. But then he was also captured because he was trying to fight with the villagers early in the morning, and the villagers did not like it. Why would you wake up early in the morning conquering us or killing us or trying to burn our houses? That's the problem. So but his ship, he has 5 ships actually. His ship Victoria sailed around the world. So he was also noted to be the first man to circumnavigate the world. And the ship Victoria is one of them. He has 5 more ships. One is Saturnina. Another one is Louisiana. I am not very sure of the rest of them. It was part of our history though. Okay, another one is Hernando de Soto. All right, so in the map, it shows that he went around the world also, but then no, he did not go around the world, but he went around places as well. So Hernando left Spain also looking for gold and jewels in a new land. The new land is America, of course, you know that. He was the first European to see and explore what we now call the Mississippi River. Okay, so next we have Henry Hudson. If you remember the airplane that crashed on the Hudson River in New York, that river was named after him, probably. All right, here is Henry Hudson. He sailed up to Hudson River in 1609 via his ship Half Moon. So his ship was Half Moon, looking for a way to the Pacific Ocean. Instead, he explored much of the Arctic Ocean. The Arctic Ocean is in the northern part of the globe. All right, Juan Ponce de Leon. Here is Juan Ponce de Leon. Actually, he left Spain also for riches and searched the fountain of youth. The fountain of youth came, but then he was looking for the fountain of youth, but came to the land of flowers, and he named it La Florida. And he claimed this for Spain. Now, La Florida is just named Florida, and still it is the land of flowers. Actually, I have a video about Florida also. All right, so that's Juan Ponce de Leon. He searched for the fountain of youth, but he landed in the land of flowers that is down south in Florida. So now it is Florida. If you can remember Roald Amundsen, in one of the stories that I have given you in as classwork in reading, you will remember him. This is Roald Amundsen. He actually is from Norway. You know, Norway, there is sun even during in midnight sun, sorry. It's okay. So he used huskies to pull dog sleds and reached the South Pole on December 1911. He flew over the North Pole in a blimp in 1926. A blimp looks like this. It is not like the aircraft that we have right now. It is just like something that has a hollow structure inside. There is no, probably there are chairs or seats or what, but it's very simple. So those were the first aircrafts probably around that time. Roald Amundsen. Okay, next we have Neil Armstrong. If you remember Apollo 11, I told you about Neil Armstrong. Here is Neil Armstrong. Very young guy. Okay, Neil Armstrong is the first astronaut to walk on the moon in 1969. Wow, he was the first man to walk on the moon. And the second man to walk on the moon was Edwin Aldrin. They have a mission around that time. They call it Apollo 11. Actually, there's a lot of Apollo. All right, so that is the second astronaut, Edwin Aldrin. And the last one was Michael Collins. Michael Collins was not able to land on the moon. He was not able to walk on the moon because he was the commander. He was the pilot of the module for Apollo 11. He circled the moon while Armstrong and Aldrin explored it. So the two of them, when they went down on the moon, set the flag of the United States, while Michael Collins was revolving or was circling around the moon. That was cool, huh? All right, so that is all for today, and I hope that you remember all the details of those explorers. There's a lot of them, but those are only some of those that are noted, that have some notations and have imprints in the history of the world. Thank you, and I hope that you have a great, great day. See you later. Bye now.